Hi everyone, so today is Wednesday the 19th of June. We're going to get on a bit more with George today. Sun's out again, look. Right, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but you can see the state of this radiator, look. All the corrosion. So obviously the air blows through that to cool it down, and also the heat travels through it. But if you look at it, it's just disintegrating. Like, you just touch it and it's just falling apart. So that radiator is definitely seen its time. That's why we're changing it. Also, I'm not sure whether the water's flowing around it too well, to be honest. So that's the reason for the radiator change. Get the pot up. Right, where are we? So we're done the gasket here and the seal under there. Fan could do with a paint, might get round to that later. What else have we got to do? Right, I think today I'll get this apart and we'll check this temperature gauge for what I'm saying compared with my temperature probe. We'll just see what the difference is. I think the gauge in George is reading high, but we'll soon find out. I think I might take the thermostat out as well and recheck that just in case, then we'll know once and for all that there's no problems with those. So there's the thermostat housing off. Here it is, because this one's got the little sender in. So what we can do, we can put this into some boiling water. There's the thermostat. We'll check whether that's opening, which I think that will do. And I'll get my probe and we'll just check the difference in the temperatures on my gauge. Right, just find something big enough to put some hot water in so we can see the temperature. Rightio, so I just boiled the kettle, tipped it into this jug. Just dropped in the thermostat, and I've obviously dropped in the housing with the connection in for the gauge. I've got a little thermometer thing here, it's saying it's about 16 degrees where we are now. So I'll drop that into the water and we'll see what it reads. Careful, this power doesn't tip. It's got quite windy today. I definitely don't want that falling over on me. Well, let's just say that's 88. It says 88.4. That's 88. Let's might not be hot enough for that thermostat to open. I might have to put it in a pan with some heat on. Where's my keys? Let's see what the temperature gauge reads at in George. I think I'm going to have an earth wire connected to it, aren't I? But if I pull that out and chuck on an earth now, we'll have some idea what the temperature will be. Didn't think of that, did we? No. Let's just see what I'm saying it is now. There we go, look. 110. That's reading, and we know that was only 80 something. So that just proves we know that gauge is wrong. Yeah, it's reading 110 now, look. Slowly going down because it's cooling down. So that just proves to me that the gauge is reading way out. We've got the kettle on the boil, you can probably hear it. When that's boiling, we'll chuck this thermostat in, because this shouldn't open until it's 90, so I might have to get a pan on the stove. But that should be hot enough to open it up a little bit. We'll put it in there now, so you can see it's firmly shut. I've got my little probe here. That's saying it's 19.9 degrees in my kitchen. So we'll see what the temperature is on that in a second. Let's wait for the kettle to boil. Rightio, as you can see, the kettle is boiling away. I'm actually holding it on to it's over boiling. Right, let's chuck it straight in onto the thermostat. That should be enough. Not sure how hot a kettle actually gets. Oh, it's 93, 94. It's gone back to 93, 94. So that's 93, 94. We'll leave that a couple of seconds and then we'll have a look and see how it's doing. So that's been sitting in there a couple of minutes now. Let's fish it out and you can see that's opened. Well, I can see it's opened. It's going to be bloody hot. That's closing now. That soon closes. But yep, that's working anyway. I'm happy about that. So I did check it before, to be honest, but I thought I'd just double check it because, well, because of that temperature. But when I've checked that gauge, I know now that's definitely reading very high, isn't it? Very high. In fact, we'll just go and check it again. Rightio, so I've now connected a piece of wire straight onto it, back onto the engine, so it makes a circuit. According to this, which is pretty accurate, it's saying it's 73 degrees. Let's go and have a look at what the temperature gauge is saying inside George. 80, 90, 100, 105. So this is the second time I've tested this and I'm pretty sure, I know now, this temperature is reading way high. So if that's 70 and they're saying it's 105, 106, so when it's sitting at 110 to 120, that's only going to be 85, 90 degrees at the most, which is about normal. So I'm happy that gauge is reading high. I don't think we've got any issues with high temperature. That's cleared that up. That's the end of that test. So now I'll crack on and get the other jobs done I need to be doing here. So that's that housing back on, and that's all good. The next thing I think we're going to do is undo all these engine mounts and see if we can get these changed back for the old ones, and then we'll be taking the sump off to do the sump gasket, then these gaskets on this side, and then all should be good. Moved all the bolts from these old, or these new front engine mounts. Also I've disconnected this, or just broke it apart here because we're going to be lifting the engine up at the front, and removed the exhaust clamp from there, just so nothing can break when we chip that engine up. Right, I think it's time for a cup of tea before I do anything else. My old mounts, you can see they've got some cracks in, but they're not right through, and they do feel, well, they feel about the same, to be fair, but there's only one way of finding out. Now, I had to do this different because I haven't got the engine hoist. I've literally put the jack on a piece of wood underneath the sump and loosened up these bolts from the bracket what holds the engine mount. So we'll swap them over, put it back, do the same with the other side. That's slower, but it's the only way I can do it really. But we're getting there. There we go, we've got the old crackly engine mounts back on. Although they're cracked, they may be better than the other ones. There's only one way of finding out, is to put them back on. So the next job will be take the sump off, do the sump gasket. But like I said, we'll run out of time, so I'm going to leave it here. Slowly getting forward. Proved something that was right what I thought. The temperature gauge was running much higher than it should be, so all's good with the engine. So I'll leave it here and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.